All right, this is your average Joe doing a little bit of a quick live stream, mostly because I'm having some issues with my computer, not really allowing me to edit videos right now. So this is the easiest way for me to be able to get some videos out there and really kind of update and make sure that you guys don't forget about me, or that I'm still making content. I apologize for the little bit of a delay. Really kind of slowing down a little bit as things in my life have picked up, and I don't really have as much time as I used to. But I wanted to go ahead and really quickly talk about the concept of when it rains, it pours. And what do I mean by that? Well, it comes into really this context, this idea of we are effectively reaching the end of the line in many ways. The culture war in almost every aspect has resulted in almost every form of media at some point being attacked, being used or abused, being, just censored, ruined, changed, altered, broken, just destroyed in some cases. And and it really it goes into everything from comic books to movies, video games, even anime. It's a very interesting showdown that's occurred, and what we've seen is, while the wonderful individuals who want to effectively destroy civilization, or at least in some form control it completely, while they have solidified and cemented their control over these industries, all of these industries are now suffering. They're suffocating. And that's kind of the thing I wanted to go ahead and address in this little live stream was when it rains, it pours. When these industries finally start collapsing, and many of them are beginning to collapse. For example, the AAA gaming industry is actually reporting for the first time, really since the concept of AAA gaming first existed, they're reporting losses. And what I see more and more now is not only are these companies reporting losses, you're actually seeing them lose investors faster and faster. And that's kind of unheard of when you consider for the last 30 years, technology was considered to be, it was as valuable as land or gold. It was something that was never at any point to really be considered as something that would ever be devalued. And yet we're actually watching, at least for right now, the video gaming industry, they're devalued. They're devalued. They are losing value, and losing value rather quickly. And we've seen it also in the movie industry as well. I remember that there was about a 4 or 5 year span going from, I would say, roughly around like 2010 to 2015, where almost every other movie was just knocking the money out, just ballpark numbers. Just right out of the gate, just incredible amounts of revenue. And now they're not even making up really what some of these movies cost. Or if they are getting some of these costs back, it's in the form of discounts, like in the case of Captain Marvel, where you would get discounts on their tickets if you bought this extremely discounted ticket, or if you got a Captain Marvel ticket, then you'd get popcorn and a meal, or these other things. They're having to actually actively pander to people to get them to go watch these movies and to watch this media. And even in television, and I think it's actually, there's a comedy right now to this notion of watching all of these major news networks, watching all of these major industries that, I mean, they have an insane amount of control over things, and yet CNN is barely even ranking in like a fifth of what they were, um, the people that were watching them before the Mueller report dropped. And their ratings are declining even faster. They're losing people faster than they can possibly imagine. And we even see this in the NFL. So what does this all mean? I'm talking about entertainment, of course, right? Well, there was a saying in the Roman Empire that, and Raging Golden Eagle talked about this, and that's kind of the reason why I'm making this point. Is this is his topic of discussion for many of his videos, is so long as people have their bread in circus, a population, for the most part, is very easy to control. Most people will not complain so long as they have their entertainment and a full stomach. Well, we see that entertainment is very much, it's falling apart. No, it might not be a full collapse. It might not be, I'm not saying that this is the end of Hollywood or this is the end of the video game industry. By all means, no. I think that these industries will continue to go on, but I do not think that they will thrive. In fact, I think that in many ways, many of these industries will continue to suffer and decline. And as to what exactly that will result in, I'm not sure. But I also noticed that there is a distinct dichotomy being formed, and that is more and more Americans, such as myself, I don't care about the new movies. I don't care about the new video games. I have no interest in any of the new media. It really doesn't affect me, or really, just there's a lack of almost complete interest in anything that's really going on. And what I spend a majority of my time doing these days is either playing, if I do get the time to play video games, I play things that I'm already familiar with and things I already enjoy, or I play a few of the titles that, I have an extensive backlog and I start on those. And if I want to watch a movie, then I watch one that I'm already familiar with. But I don't really have any drive to go see any of the new movies. In fact, the last movie I went to go watch in theaters was Ready Player One. And what is very interesting about this, and the reason why I am talking about this is I'm not the only person that feels this way, nor am I the only person acting like this. And this population is actually being statistically measured right now. It is something that is measurable. I do not know the numbers right now. However, there is an ever-growing amount of people who are not interested anymore. They're losing interest faster and faster, and really in every context and in every way, they will continue to lose interest and lose customers because the media does not, any form of entertainment and any form of media, it doesn't actually pander to a normal audience. It panders to the regressive, screaming, walking apes that decide, apparently with a population that is not even an eighth of a percent. I think it's 8% in total of the world's population globally are these people. But in the United States, it's less than 8%, or roughly around 5%. There was a study done as to how many of these SJWs actually existed, but it is an elite, effectively, in this country, because I can tell you that they have never had the majority, nor do they have the numbers to make a majority to effectively control a country. So the fact that they are really allowed to and overall deciding the rules of conduct and how things will be done is definitely indicative of their status. These are not normal people. They are elites. They are the ruling class. And they continue to perch like the lunatics that they are and screech and howl at the moon in an effort to continue to drag society, and Western civilization specifically, through the mud. As to what the overall intention of this is, I can only begin to guess. And even after multiple discussions on this, and after watching a few years worth of videos on this, I think that there's still really not enough conjecture to point really at a singular answer. There are just too many things going on right now to effectively state that there is one clear objective. And in fact, I am not even sure if there is a clear objective, given how these people are prone to the infighting and the open attacks against each other. It's fascinating. It's very animalistic behavior. There is little civilization, little civility in their to's and froms, their thoughts, their words, their actions, how they interact with each other. It's very primal, very animalistic behavior, and it's extremely emotionally driven, instinctually driven, not thought through, not logical, not really blessed with foresight or even any kind of real balance of knowledge. Instead, it is almost completely animalistic. Now, really, overall, the point that I wanted to make with this is the circus is effectively being burnt to the ground by the clowns, and they're also now looking to attack the bread. There are now more politicians in the United States, at the very least, that are demanding that Americans give up eating meat, that Americans give up eating certain food products, that certain things should be taxed more heavily, and that these things are no good for a globally sound and economic society, a society that is driven and very conscientious about the environment. And in their insanity, they make absolutely no good points, or if they do make good points, they're questionable at best. And I'm sorry, but I am not an individual that when someone throws the argument, well, how does the animal feel? Well, I don't know. What's it like to be prey? Because that's what that is. It's as simple as that. Unfortunately, for you, your concept of, well, release them in the wild and they'll have a better life. Not entirely. And if you really understand biology, you would know that should some of these animals that we have domesticated, should they have come into, they were not domesticated, their likelihood of not being extinct right now is questionable. And the ways that predators kill them are in many ways far crueler than humans. Now, is there questionable practices? Of course. That's all industries, though. And this is not to excuse that, but if you're questioning the practice, then fine. Let's find something more effective, more humane. But to sit there and tell me that I am a horrible human being because I eat meat as our bodies are designed to do and as my ancestors did, and that many of which would be extremely jealous of the consistency and the product and level of the food I get to eat in comparison to what they had. And really, it's that right there. It's complete lack of anything resembling foresight, anything resembling concept of just how freaking amazing our civilization is. And instead of leaving it to its designs and letting it flow the way it should, we've allowed clowns to hijack our circus, and they're looking to burn it all to the ground in the name of whatever form of anti-oppression they are on this week. So, really, at the end of the day, it's exactly the reason why I label this video the way it's been labeled, because when it will rain, it will pour, and things will get very, very dark. So, not to end this on an entirely sour note, though, really would have to say, though, that I look forward to making another video here very soon about the importance of hobbies and the importance of finding a community to get involved with, because that is something that that's part of the reason why I don't have a whole lot of time now, is I've gotten involved with a good community and involved in a hobby. In fact, it's actually looking to take off in its own way and allow me to explore a possible career opportunity. Not like a full-time kind of thing, but it would be something part-time and enjoyable to do. So, but it's given me a purpose. It's allowed me to really look at something that I never thought I'd be capable of doing, or something I really never thought I'd do. And here I am on the path to doing it. And it's enjoyable. It's fun. And the people that I've met are wonderful. And it's something that I think that it really should be stressed, of the importance of it. So, the importance of finding that male community, of getting involved with that male community and being a part of them. So, going to go ahead and end this here. Those were pretty much the points I wanted to make with this. It was supposed to be a little bit of a short video. So, as always, thank you very much for listening, and I look forward to making more videos for all of you who are listening. And remember, if you bought this soap and it doesn't look like soap and doesn't smell like soap, it's probably not soap.